Mr. Toastmaster, and thank you very much, Abbas, for that wonderful introduction. Fellow Toastmasters, and most distinguished guests. The poet, Sylvia Plath, once said, "It's the greatest burden I can think of. Wanting to be extraordinary, but being mind-numbingly, sickeningly, painfully ordinary." Hearing this quote stuck with me like peanut butter to the roof of my mouth. During my idle time, when my mind is free to prance around with jovial and diverting thoughts and ideas, I often find myself wondering, what will my impact be on this planet Earth? I feel this hopeful excitement to convert my ideas to tangible, actionable change, which fuels my drive to make an extra effort in my work. But then I think maybe I'm being naively hopeful. How can one man possibly make an impact and stand out in this modern globalized world, which is just a constant buzzing of innovation and competing ideas fighting side by side, kind of like background white noise, like static from a television, like the pitter patter during a rainfall that is just deafeningly silent? Becoming a memorable individual seems like quite a reach. And I think of the countless artists that were just unknown or ignored in their heyday, only to be praised for their beautiful, famous artwork and music sometime after they pass away. Will I also pass away, never truly knowing the impact of my work? Well, it is said that we all die twice. One time, physiologically, when you just stop breathing, but a second time, a bit later on, when somebody says your name for the very last time. I have all these ideas on making the world a better place, but I always find myself circling back to the question, when will my name be said for the very last time? And from that, the next question follows, is my life just going to be ordinary? I'm not alone. To some extent, we've all wondered the exact same thing. That longing for adventure, that yearning for excitement, the desire for something different. There's a word for that, key-no-phobia, the fear that you've lived an ordinary life. The conundrum that I'm speaking about here is that while you're in life, it seems epic, fiery, tenuous, unpredictable. But once you step back and have some distance from it, everything just seems to shrink until it's almost out of focus, blurry. And when you look back on your life or try to put it down on paper with a pen, it seems somehow diminished, humble, almost quaint. So, what do? You begin scanning your life, looking for that interesting or beautiful thing that happened to you. You see an ordinary house on an ordinary street, and it looks smaller than you remember it. You once had those wild dreams and obstacles and risks looming all around you, but they look smaller now too. You remember giants, goddesses, villains, but all you see now is ordinary people assembled in their tiny classrooms and workspaces. Each and every one of us moving around in little steps, like tokens on a game board. No matter how many times they rolled the dice, it was always these little moves here and there. Do a little work, take a little rest, make a little friend, throw a little party, feel a little boredom, have a little rebellion. There are just so many of these token moments that you feel like we're supposed to represent some other thing. And you keep adding them up, all of them up, as if there was something you forgot to count. What am I forgetting? It's as if some stash of your former glory fell off the back of the truck as it rumbles and tumbles and rolls along the highway of life. And look, you may adore the life that you have. That's the best and most jovial thing that you can think. You can adore your life for everything that it is, and you know it's not groundbreaking, but you wouldn't change a single thing. Maybe when you first started building the life that you wanted, You left plenty of room for what might happen in the future, but you lost sight of what's happening in the present. Now, hearing that might be a wake-up call for you. Stop planning and start living. We've heard that before. Working on this speech certainly jolted me awake to start making my impact. But those feelings, they came back to me. How can I be remembered when there are billions just like me? It's ironic because I'm unique, you're unique, and there are 7.8 billion others just as unique as you and I. Each of us is different, with some new angle on the world, some new perspective. But what does it mean if the lives that we're all so busy shaping and molding and crafting by hand all end up looking the same, easily replaced by just 1,000 identical others? So, as a response, we all spread out, looking for those scraps of a new, fresh frontier, trying to capture something special, something so personal and endearing. It is as if we are afraid of being pegged for exactly what we are, easily mistaken for someone ordinary, just like everyone else. Now, it should be comforting that we're not so different, that our perspectives so neatly align, but the same images keep showing up over and over and over again. It's all right if we tell the same jokes we've all heard before. It's all right if we keep remaking the same movies. It's all right if we keep saying the same phrases to each other as if they've never been said before. Why? Because the powerful play goes on, and each and every one of us will contribute a verse. You and I and 7.8 billion others will leave our mark on this world that we've inherited. Koinophobia means the fear of an ordinary life. But just like all other fears, the key is to face it head on, not to avoid it. Embrace that fear. Let it fuel you to take opportunities that life throws at you. But realize that at the end, it's your life against no one else's. And there's no such thing as a perfect ideal lifestyle. There's no perfect thing that you should have already accomplished, and no perfect sequence of tasks that you should be accomplishing right now. And you know what? I've made my peace with this. And the powerful play of life goes on. So when you get your cue to speak your verse, don't forget your line. Mr. Toastmaster.